Sports coverage of NCAA tournament basketball continues here at the McHale Center in Tucson, Arizona, with a first-round matchup between Michigan State and the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay. And welcome, everyone, to Tucson with 17:20 to play here in the first half. Michigan State leads by a score of 3-0. Greg Gumbel along with Quinn Buckner, and we welcome you. It's now a 5-0 Michigan State lead as the Spartans out of the Big Ten with an 18-10 mark, wearing the home whites, playing the visiting, at least for today, University of Wisconsin-Green Bay. Along with Quinn Buckner, the mid-continent tournament champion, Wisconsin-Green Bay. The little guys coming in here, Quinn.
Yeah, they are the little guys, Greg. They have a player, Tony Bennett, very good players, the perimeter shooting. They're a perimeter team, and they've got to make their shot. They also have to contain Steve Smith, who started off here early with a three-point from the Spartans.
There's a whistle and a foul on the play as number 44, Jeremy Ludvigson, puts the first points of the day on the board for the Fighting Phoenix of Wisconsin-Green Bay. This is first round and first game action here in Tucson. The winner of this game will play the winner of Utah versus South Alabama, which is coming up after this one. And then tonight, it'll be Georgetown and Vanderbilt. And number 1, top seed, top ranked, unbeaten, Nevada, Las Vegas, taking on the Grizzlies of Montana. Ludvigson makes it a three-point play, and it's a 5-3 Michigan State lead.
Greg, the man with the ball has a good game. He's got to score 25 points in order for the Spartans to win. The real key, though, is somebody else from the Spartans has to come up with some scoring.
That's Steve Smith, number 21. Let's set the starting lineups for you as Michigan State takes a 7-3 lead. The man with the ball is number 25, Tony Bennett. He is the key to Wisconsin-Green Bay. Number 20, John Martinez, joins him in the backcourt. Jeremy Ludvigson, number 44, in the middle, with Dean Vanderplas, number 33, and number 23, Ben Johnson at forward. This is Vanderplas at the top of the key.
Michigan State in their man-to-man defense, wanting to keep an eye on Bennett. He's really the key, just as you said, Greg. Makes everybody else better.
Vanderplas will take the three. The three-pointer is the main weapon for the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay.
Well, they're used to that perimeter shot. They lead the nation in three-point field goal percentage, so they're not unaccustomed to seeing that shot go down.
7 for Michigan State, Matt Stangenga. Outside, no good, and the Fighting Phoenix with the rebound. For Michigan State, Steve Smith, number 21, is at guard with number 11, Mark Montgomery. Mike Poplowski, 54, is in the middle. Dwayne Stevens and Matt Stangenga are the forwards. This is Martinez, and now Tony Bennett, son of head coach Dick Bennett of Wisconsin-Green Bay.
You see a very patient team. This is also part of what Green Bay normally does. They didn't change the strategy. They'll wait until they get a good wide open shot.
Bennett puts it up. Montgomery may have gotten a hand on it, but Wisconsin-Green Bay retains possession.
More importantly, they got a new 45-second clock, so they can be patient again.
Martinez in a drive. Didn't find the basket. Martinez gets it back and goes up with the left hand, partially blocked by Poplowski. Michigan State out of the corner. Smith draws the foul and will go to the line to shoot 2. That foul is on number 23, Ben Johnson, and that's number 2 of the game on Johnson.
Well, all day long they can go to Smith. Smith has got about a 2-inch height advantage. Dick Bennett knew he had a problem because what he's had to do is take Ben Johnson, who is normally a forward, to guard the guard, Steve Smith. And with that, that means there's also another mismatch that goes on. Matt Stangenga is being guarded by either Martinez or Tony Bennett. Normally it's been Martinez, and that's a problem as well for Green Bay. They've got to figure out a way to, first of all, shut this guy off and then make the rest of the team beat him.
Smith hits his first free throw. Many of you will be seeing these games in the next half hour. Arizona State, Rutgers, UCLA, Penn State among them. Steve Smith has 7 points, and with those 7 points, as he misses his second, he has now become number 5 all-time scorer in the Big Ten, passing Michigan's Gary Grant. And Steve Smith is a pure scorer, Quinn.
Steve Smith is a big-time player. He's going to be a first-round draft pick. Some say even a lottery pick going into the NBA. He can score with the best of them.
11-6, Michigan State with the lead. 25, John Zuloff is now into the game for Michigan State.
Zuloff, a good athlete, something you need out on the court, because rebounding is also a major problem for Green Bay. They just don't have the manpower. Undermanned short.
Bennett pops it back out to Vanderplas, who hits. 5 for Vanderplas, 11-8 Spartans.
Draw and kick, that's what Bennett does as good as anybody in basketball.
Wisconsin Green Bay comes out of the mid-continent, where they went 13-3 for a second-place finish and then won the tournament and the automatic bid. They are 24-6 on the year.
Good call. That's a moving foul, a block against Montgomery.
We have 13-19 to play here in the first half. Michigan State with a 3-point lead. We'll be right back.
With a full-size sedan.
Here in Tucson, first round action in the West region. It's Michigan State leading Wisconsin Green Bay by a score of 11-8 with 13 minutes 19 seconds to play in the first half. And still to come, first round coverage continues with Arizona State against Rutgers, UCLA against Penn State, and Texas against St. Peter's. And we want to remind you, some of you will be leaving us in a few minutes to see one of those games of special interest in your local areas. And of course, you'll be kept up to date on the progress of this game with scoring reports and highlights. This is Mark Montgomery, the 6'2 junior, and a nice lob that Steve Smith couldn't convert, but he follows up.
That time, Rondorf thought that there was a change. Rondorf thought that Steve Smith was going to come off the pick. There was eye contact. It was actually made in the timeout. Montgomery just threw it up for Smith to go get.
That is Dean Rondorf, number 30, substitution for Wisconsin Green Bay. Tony Bennett for 3.
They've been trying to run a couple different people at Tony Bennett, try to wear him down a little bit. Montgomery has to be very concerned about picks. Bennett, understanding the game, having been around a great deal of time with his father, knocked down the 3.
Wisconsin Green Bay now 2 out of 3 from three-point land. It's 13-11 Michigan State. Smith to Zuloff and to Montgomery inside Poplawski. Couldn't get it to fall. Zuloff with the follow.
Got to block out. You're a smaller team. If you don't block out, you'll get those kind of plays happening to you all day.
Wisconsin Green Bay at a distinct height disadvantage. No player on the Wisconsin Green Bay team taller than 6'9".
That's why they play the perimeter game. You negate any height when you're playing out away from the basket.
Bennett working on Montgomery, and that's an offensive foul. Number 1 on Bennett. And with 11:38 to play here in the first half, we'll take timeout. Tucson, Arizona is the site, the McHale Center, and Michigan State leading Wisconsin Green Bay by a score of 15-11 with just over 11.5 to play in the first half. And other action today saw Arkansas, after a slow start, just steamroll over Georgia State 117-76. Eastern Michigan over the Bulldogs of Mississippi State 76-56, and St. John's Redmen over Northern Illinois 75-68. NIU, a league rival of these, Fighting Phoenix of Wisconsin Green Bay in the Mid-Continent League.
Well, Northern Illinois won the regular season championship, and as a matter of fact, Green Bay beat them in the conference championship. So they had 2 teams to make the tournament this year.
Michigan State in white, Wisconsin Green Bay in the green. '31 is Stevens. Judd Heathcote saying yesterday he's trying to get him to think offense. Drive no good, and there for the follow is Zuloff.
You know, it looks to me, Greg, that as I watch the Phoenix of Green Bay, that they're falling asleep. They're a little bit caught up in a lot of the hype, I think, that goes on with the tournament. And that's really tough for a first-time competitor. And I think that's part of the problems here with Wisconsin Green Bay.
Ben Johnson set to come back in at the next whistle for the Phoenix. This is Rondorf. Good defense, nice pass, back in tight, and the short pop is good by Rondor.
Well, it was quick to the basketball, that's important, but what you have to understand now is the Fighting Phoenix can make their run if they were going to make any right here, because Steve Smith was taken out of the game at the timeout, so they got a chance to go against a basically offensive-less Spartan team.
17-13. Off the baseline, Stevens shot is short, Vanderplas with the rebound. Vanderplas, a 6-foot forward, a rarity in Division I basketball.
Yeah, but he's got a body built by Fisher. He is a big kid.
Bennett gets the screen and nails the three.
You got to step up on the screen, and Mark Montgomery said that to Dwayne Stevens. Step up when Bennett is out there because he knocks down the three.
Wisconsin Green Bay, as you see, 6 out of 13 from the floor. Michigan State 7 out of 13, and it's a 1-point lead for the Spartans. Stevens got it. Dwayne Stevens, the 6'7" sophomore, with his first basket. 19-16, Michigan State.
Where Michigan State is going to get tested, Greg, I think, is they don't normally play defense for 35 seconds, and that's what Wisconsin Green Bay is going to make them do. You got to believe in the second half, they're tired. They won't come out on the shots. And that's when Wisconsin Green Bay can be most effective.
Rondorf working for his shot and hit it. And it's a 19-18 Michigan State lead. And those are the fans of the Fighting Phoenix that you hear. Stegginga over. Doesn't go. Martinez in for the rebound.
You got Michigan State shooting jump shots. That's not what they do. Steve Smith is out of the game. There's a height advantage for Michigan State. They've got to pump the ball down low.
Martinez for three. 21-19 Wisconsin Green Bay. The best three-point shooting team in the land, and they're showing it now.
Got their confidence now. They feel like they're in the flow of what they do best.
They are 4 out of 5 from three-point range.
Yeah, I'd say that's in the flow of what you do best.
Parrish Hickman, number 42, hits his first shot attempt. And we're tied at 21.
Opportunity to start looking inside. There's being some switching done by Michigan State, and when you do that, the picker, all he has to do is just go back to the basket and get the ball.
Bennett got a little trapped on the baseline and throwing it up off the backboard. Michigan State recovered and missed the shot. And Stegginga will hit.
Third shot, 2 or 3 times. Second shot opportunities. Can't have it happen.
We want to remind many of our viewers that they'll be leaving us in a few minutes to see another game of special interest in their local area. You will be kept up to date on the progress of this one with scoring reports and highlights. That game will be Texas and St. Peter's. Here's Rondorf for 3.
You got to wonder if you're Michigan State, is this ever going to stop?
7 for Rondorf. 24-23 Wisconsin Green Bay. Wisconsin Green Bay, the number 12 seed in the West. Michigan State, number 5. Hickman off the glass, gets his own rebound and scores. 4 for Hickman. And a 1-point Michigan State lead.
I don't know about you, Greg, but I like this kind of basketball. I mean, I like the getting up and down, but when you see a team that is undermanned by one side, they play to their strength, and that's what Wisconsin Green Bay is doing. They shoot the 3. Michigan State is letting them do it. You got to contest that shot.
9 points for Tony Bennett on that 3, and it's a 2-point lead for Wisconsin Green Bay. Loose ball in the lane, and Rondorf picks it off. Understand that some of you are having some technical problems. We're glad to report that it's fixed and settle back and enjoy this outside shooting performance being put on by the Fighting Phoenix. 5.5 to play, first half. 27-25, Wisconsin, Green Bay. The Fighting Phoenix has hit 7 straight from the floor.
Good patience, make them work the defense.
Bennett had it batted away, and the loose ball is picked off in the corner by Rondor.
No new 45-second clock. He's got 4.
Martinez for 3. Oh!
They got 3 for that one. Let it fly.
30-25, and we're under 5 minutes for the first half. 8 straight from the floor for Wisconsin Green Bay. And 5 threes, and the whistle is on Dwayne Stevens. And here come multiple substitutions into the game. We'll take a break with 4:50 to play in the first half, and Wisconsin Green Bay on a roll.
When you're playing a team like Wisconsin Green Bay, their strength is the perimeter, but what makes them so good is they all know that they can shoot the 3. It's the dribble penetration that makes the help come, and out there you see Martinez shooting the 3. 46% from the 3-point line. Wisconsin Green Bay leads the nation, and that was a reason right there.
And they're 7 out of 8 from 3-point land so far this afternoon. Bennett is 3 for 4. Martinez is 2 out of 2. They have a 5-point lead, looking to expand upon that. Bennett has it partially blocked. Out of bounds to Michigan State.
Out of the timeout, they made a change. Matt Steginger got back in the game. He's 6'7", guarding a 6-foot Bennett, so that forces Bennett to shoot over Matt, and Matt got a hand on it.
Steginger, Steve Smith, Poplawski, Parrish, Hickman, and number 12, Andy Pennick in the lineup for Michigan State.
Pennick hasn't been in. He's a 3-point shooter. They've been trying to get him to shoot. He's a freshman. This is new for him as well as the Green Bay players.
That's because we didn't have enough 3-point shooters on the floor, Quinn.
That's just what we needed.
Pennick for 2. And Poplawski doesn't go, but he draws the foul, and there's a perfect example of how Wisconsin Green Bay is undermanned under the bucket.
Well, Greg, they're not only undermanned, they're not doing the little things. If a guy like Tony Bennett puts his ring on the knee, if you will, of Poplawski, he won't move. Big people get afraid that something will happen to their knee, and there's no way Poplawski gets that offensive rebound.
Poplawski, having undergone knee surgery in the past, you can see that huge brace on his knee. This is Smith.
6'7", that got him on the point. This is what makes this guy so tough to deal with.
Smith will stop in the ball for him, and Poplawski is there. Smith with the follow. He didn't get it. Number 45, Scott Lemoyne, has the rebound. Rondorf, Martinez, Ben Johnson, Lemoyne, and number 32, Logan Vandervelden, now in the lineup.
Tony Bennett is out of the lineup, getting a break. Now you've got to get Martinez. Normally likes to come alive when Bennett goes out of the game.
This is Rondorf. Front rim. Vandervelden has it, is tied up in the middle, and a jump ball. Possession arrow. I think they just changed the possession arrow. We'll double.
So Wisconsin Green Bay.
Lemoyne and number 32, Logan Vandervelden, now in the lineup.
You got it. Tony Bennett is out of the lineup, getting a break. Now you've got to get Martinez. Normally likes to come alive when Bennett goes out of the game.
This is Rondorf. Front rim. Vandervelden has it. It's tied up in the middle. And jump ball. Possession arrow. I think they just changed the possession arrow. We'll double check that, but take a look at the battle being waged for the basketball underneath as we take time out.
Andrews a great defender, and of course Williams in the open floor. Benford is explosive tonight. To keep him down, and one of the great defenders in the country is Marvin Andrews.
It was interesting in talking with some of the front court players for Texas this year about how last year they knew they had to get their.
Well, they've got 7 offensive rebounds and 12 points for that, and that's how they've been able to stay in the game. On the other side, Green Bay shooting the 3, and I'm loving it too.
This is Ben Johnson. Martinez. Back on top for Rondorf and back into the corner from Martinez. It is a patient Wisconsin Green Bay club. But the loose ball, Lemoyne lost the handle, and here comes Michigan State. Fourth turnover for Wisconsin Green Bay. Michigan State's turned it over 3 times.
Michigan State can do all they want. That's where they want to get the ball, in that man's hand.
Smith had the front of the rim, and this is Ben Johnson. Down to 2:15 to play for the first half. Rondorf open for 3.
Good job setting the pick down low. But you can see they've got 4 or 5 different options on people that knock down the 3-point shot. You've got to pick up people further out off the paint.
Rondorf off the bench for 10. And it's 33-25 with 1:50 to play. Steve Smith. By Smith. Just over his man and couldn't convert the putback. Must be like a cloud that just suddenly comes over the horizon, Quinn.
Yeah, because Pep is a big young man.
Ben Johnson for 3. And nobody there to rebound but Spartans. Smith posting up.
That's where he can go and be very effective.
Pennick for 3. Andy Pennick, 6'2", freshman out of Louisville, Kentucky, makes it a 33-28 game, and we're under a minute to play here in the first half.
Tony Bennett is trying to get in the game. There hasn't been any stopping the action, but I think the real positive thing for Wisconsin Green Bay is they're still up 5 points without Bennett being in the game for about 2 minutes.
Martinez drove and drew the foul on Mark Montgomery. We are live in Tucson, Arizona. This is first-round action in the West region of the NCAA tournament. And it's 33-28 Wisconsin Green Bay. The 3-point shooting, look at the Fighting Phoenix, 8 out of 10, and those are the second chance points we were talking about, Quinn.
Well, that's been the story, absolutely. Wisconsin Green Bay known for shooting the 3-pointer, 8 out of 10, outstanding shooting, and you can see Michigan State has 12 points the second chance. They have 7 offensive rebounds. Got to do a better job blocking out, does Michigan State.
I want to remind you, too, that the CBS regularly scheduled program will return on Monday. Martinez gets the free throw. He has 7. And now 8. 35-28, Wisconsin Green Bay.
They may do whatever they want with the Spartans, but they want to get the ball back into the hands of Steve Smith. So he'll go off with some picks. Try to stay away until he absolutely can get it and make his move. That's why I think Wisconsin Green Bay needs to double him. As soon as he gets the ball, get the ball out of Smith's hands.
No shot clock. You see the game clock in the lower right-hand corner. Wyshynski and now Pennick.
I'd trap him. I'd send right now Martinez at him and just trap him. He wants to go left.
3 seconds. Smith, baseline, got it. And that'll do it for the first half. That's the end of the first half with the score. Wisconsin Green Bay 35, Michigan State 30.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the first round of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Oldsmobile. Stop by your Oldsmobile dealer and see what's new from the new generation of Olds. Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance, the quiet company. And by the greatest sports performance shoe in the world.
At the center position at 6'9", mostly just a body in there to play good defense and pick up the rebounds.
Now, you can remember in the schoolyard, guys prying and not shooting the ball. You want to say, come on, shoot the ball. We want to get down the other end. And that's the philosophy espoused by St. Peter's. Of course, Texas, woo-woo, up and down.
Nearly stolen by Andrews, Benford Williams. First basket for Benford Williams. Williams averaging 13.5 on the season. And Joey Wright reaching from behind will be whistled for the foul.
Part of that frustration to get the ball back. Williams, the guy in the open floor. That will be negated, and he really spurs Texas on from tape I've watched. Gets them with the jams and the excitement to play a little bit harder.
First on Wright, third on the team. First ever NCAA bid for St. Peter's.
Yeah, they really are. And of course, this is what St. Peter's wants. See how long they can play without being tempted to gamble.
Tony Walker, blocked by Myers. This is Wright. And Wright is fouled by Jasper Walker. Regularly scheduled CBS daytime programming is being preempted to bring you exclusive coverage of the NCAA basketball tournament. Regular scheduled daytime programming will resume on Monday, and we've got a break in the action here at the Dayton Arena. Longhorns of Texas trailing St. Peter's by 2.
To 2 run in the last 5 minutes plus, and only 1 field goal for Arizona State mixed in there.
When you get 2 teams that love transition the way these do, you're going to get a game of runs.
The Omni in Atlanta, where the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers leading Arizona State by 4 with 12:24 to go in the first half. Brad Nessler and Mimi Griffin with you. This is our second game of the afternoon. First round action in the Southeast Regional. And Rutgers and Arizona State, a couple of clubs, 19-9 coming in, have played so far in kind of a game of streaks, Mimi.
These are both teams that like to run their ball. They're both transition teams. And we mentioned you're going to get streaks when you have transition teams. Rutgers, in particular, in the last 5 minutes, has really come on strong with their transition game.
They better like to run, because whoever wins it has to play Arkansas. And we saw what Arkansas can do when they run, as they put it on Georgia State in our first round game here today.
Yeah, one of these teams is going to have to lace their sneakers even tighter when they meet that opponent.
Sun Devils finally pack it in, and Austin walked with it. 11:46 to go in the half. Rutgers by 4.
And it's thrown away, and back comes Money Brown.
Of course, UCLA runs, and when you run a lot, you tend to throw it out the door every once in a while.
Q-tip. Michael Jennings with the 3. And State hanging right in there, down by just a single point, as Jennings has 6 off the bench for the Nittany Lions. Tracy Murray. 3 on the other end. Boy, can he fill it up.
The Nittany Lions of Penn State have done a nice job hanging in this basketball game against a UCLA team that has scored seemingly at will, shooting a very high percentage from the floor.
Here's the shot by Hayes, no good. Back up by James Barnes. And he travels.
Penn State has been effective on the inside. Freddie Barnes, the starting point guard for Penn State, got 2 fouls early, but Michael Jennings came in and hit 2 3-pointers. So Penn State doing enough to hang in the basketball game, although UCLA seemingly on the verge of stretching out its lead as they've begun to hit from the outside.
UCLA is the 4th seed in this East Regional. Penn State the 13th seed. These teams have never played each other on the basketball court. Owen shakes free.
UCLA continues to get easy baskets inside. That's really been one of the big stories of this basketball game. The quickness of UCLA enabling them to get the ball inside against Penn State for easy buckets.
Work it inside once more.
That's another walk. And that's caused by the athletic ability of UCLA inside. They're pretty good shot blockers. And Penn State now with 7 turnovers in the basketball game. You can see there, UCLA 79%. You don't shoot 79% unless you're getting very easy opportunities. And the Bruins have certainly been getting those.
John Tarver as McLean is back in. Down deep to Butler. He can't get it to drop. Rebound by Elton Carter.
It's another one from point-blank range.
Hayes takes it inside. And the follow-up by Deggets is good.
That's an important basket for Penn State. They turn.
Nice pass inside to Myers. Jump ball, arrow favoring St. Peter's.
That jump stop by Joey Wright, something Tom Penders teaches his players in the open floor. Again, not able to get through. Good containment, good pinching by the defense. It just throws your head out of gear if you're an open court team.
Some early frustration in the eyes of a couple of the players, especially Panama Myers of Texas, because of that aggressive St. Pete's defense.
And it grows, too, unfortunately, for Texas, unless you get into a patient set.
That'll shock you, huh? The turnover numbers, yeah. Andrews fouled by Benford Williams. Both teams having a little difficulty finding the range. St. Peter's 2 of 12 in the early going. Texas 2 of 5.
And you love a guy, because the foul there, like Marvin Andrews, because he's businesslike in his approach to the game. And Ted was telling us a story that he came into it with a suit on with a carnation. And he said, you know, would he have a date or something going on? And he said, no, I have a class. I have to give a presentation. And everything he does is thorough. And from the defensive end, there are not too many better.
Andrews 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Only a 64% free throw shooter. He's only 2 of 5 in total from the charity stripe. Inside to Cambridge. Nice strong move, and Antoine Allen, the off guard for St. Peter's, wisely got out of his way.
And a nice call from the bench. They brought everybody high for the lob.
1-point ball game. St. Peter's leading it. This is Jasper Walker. Nice pass to Tony Walker. And Tony with the high archer.
Tony got scraped as well. That ball came down cold and wet.
Had icicles on it.
He didn't play in our type of schoolyards and YMCA's, did he?
Not at all. The low roof. Nice pass to Jeans, and Jeans kisses it off the glass.
That's their game. Got to keep answering. The guards are going to have to be patient for Texas. Key to their game.
Marvin Andrews with the ball to Jasper Walker.
Just trying to lock people low, and you don't have it reset. Nice look. Look at the shot.
Tony Walker, second block by Myers. And a follow by Andrews.
Unabashed. They can right back at you. Because I was raised on St. Peter's basketball with Don Kennedy. Fast-paced, much like Texas.
Jeans for Texas.
Because Don, who's here visiting, isn't used to this slow pace of the Peacock offense. He likes 50, 60 and a half.
But he knows it's effective. Texas picking up in the field goal department, 5 of 8 from the floor, trailing by 1.
And not a good look.
Pass stolen. Myers.
And the double up worked.
Cambridge, big, strong player on the
several times this year. 5 injuries caused 9 different lineups in the first 13 games of the season. So he's had to shuffle. Sometimes it makes you a better team at tournament time, though. There's the knee injury that kept him out of some of the action. I should say the pad over the injury. But they're 16-4 when he's been able to start. Rutgers matches its largest lead of the game, up 5.
Again, you see Rutgers switching the defense, throwing a little full court action there.
Nice feed into Austin, and he's fouled by Smith.
And that's what Arizona State has to do, attack this zone at the seams or the gaps between the 2 people and get the pass inside to Austin.
Isaac Austin on our all-wide load body team. 6'10" senior out of Gridley, California.
And those goggles aren't for cosmetic purposes. They are prescription goggles. He needs those to see.
His brother, a former Arizona State player who's now in the CBA. And our point guard on our wide body team, Earl Duncan. Don't anybody tell him I said that.
Earl looks more like a running back. Low to the ground.
The lead cut to 3. Rutgers in front, as they have been after they went on an 8-0 run against the Sun Devils.
In this half-court offense, there's no question it's the Hughes and Duncan show for Rutgers.
Great hook pass in low to Hughes. The only thing that didn't happen that was supposed to was the ball going through the net. That was perfectly executed. Hughes just couldn't get it to drop. Arizona State can cut it to 1. They can tie with a 3. Tough shot, but Fontana got it. So the other freshman comes through. 1-point game. Carter penetrates, and he's fouled.
We talked about the half-court game being the Hughes and Duncan show for Rutgers. Here's a classic example of it. Earl Duncan with the ball at the top of the key. Look at this nice pass underneath to Hughes. He didn't make the shot, but that's exactly what Rutgers needs to have.
At the line will be Craig Carter. Senior out of Brooklyn. And that's his first point of the day. 8:15 to go, first half. Bob Wenzel's Rutgers club in front by a couple.
Craig Carter, another one of the players that was left over from Craig Littlepage's era. He's seen it all. He's seen the depth of the Rutgers program, and he's seen the resurgence in recent years.
Wisconsin, Green Bay giving the Spartans fits. UCLA leading Penn State. And St. Pete. St. Peter's by 3 over Tom Pender's Longhorns of Texas.
Extremely well in the first half, and yet with a minute 10 to go, they only lead by 4.
36-32 is our score. Deggett's up top, playing on him.
Penn State trying to set the offense. Everybody touching the basketball.
Deggetts hits the deck, and he's a bit shaky.
At halftime, Wisconsin Green Bay leading Michigan State 35-30. Greg Gumbel along with Quinn Buckner, the best three-point shooter.
Harris by Martin. Boy, they're all over the basketball. Martin is right in your face if you pick up that dribble.
Oski has followed up with the bucket, and it's 35-32. Let's check in with the third member of our crew here in Tucson, Leslie Visser. Leslie.
Greg, as you know, Michigan State discovered that Cinderella can shoot the 3. According to assistant coach Tom Izzo, the problem has been that the Spartans are not getting over to the screens quick enough. That delay in time is allowing Green Bay time to shoot. Look for them to improve on that, and offensively, look for them to attack inside, take advantage of the height differential. Greg?
All right, Leslie. Just underway here in the second half. 35-32, and this is Tony Bennett. Back rim, no. Stevens with the rebound. Michigan State starts the second half with Montgomery, Steve Smith, Stengenga, who has the ball. Stevens with the shot, no, and Poplawski. And that foul is on Poplawski, number 54.
They're playing it right into Michigan State's, into Green Bay's hand because they're taking jump shots. Go inside with the basketball, and that's the way you take advantage of your height, not shooting jump shots.
See what Wisconsin Green Bay did from three-point land in the first half. They missed one here, and it's now 8 of 11. Meanwhile, as you would expect, Michigan State dominant on the offensive board so far.
Well, they're dominant because half of their rebounds are coming on the offensive board. But as I said, they've got to get the ball inside, and what we've been calling picks, you have to understand, Wisconsin Green Bay being where the Packers are, they call those blocks. Literally, that's what they call them. They don't call them picks, but they do a good job of moving with the defense a little bit so they can kind of help themselves just a tad.
Coach Dick Bennett says, you know, when the Green Bay Packers go 6-10, all you have to have is little success to take away some of the thunder. They've done that this year. Martinez missed, and now here in the second half, Wisconsin Green Bay is 0 for 2 in the three-point department.
Taking different kind of shots. They're not coming off the picks for the 2 shots they're taking. They've been standing still. They need to be in the flow of the game.
Poplawski, and Ludvigsen draws the foul. That's number 1 on Ludvigsen. Been talking about the height differential. Just take into consideration the forwards for Wisconsin Green Bay. Dean Vanderplas at 6 feet. Ben Johnson at 6'3". The guards are both 6 feet. And in the middle, Jeremy Ludvigsen is 6'7".
That's why it's important to exploit what you have. Michigan State has got 6'10" with Poplawski. They got 6'7" with Matt Steginger. They've got Dwayne Stevens who's 6'5" or 6'6". Throw the ball inside, then kick it back outside and shoot your shots.
There's number 30, Dean Rondorf, who had a 10-point first half off the bench, replacing John Martinez.
10 points for Rondorf is more than he averages. He's only averaging just under 7 points, so that's big coming off the bench.
6 points for Poplawski and a 1-point lead for Wisconsin Green Bay. The Fighting Phoenix looking for their first basket of the second half. Johnson, that's a 2, front rim. Saved by Johnson, and back out to Bennett. Vanderplas open.
You see how they're in the flow? That's a much different shot than the ones that they missed. Granted, that was only a 2-pointer, but they're in the flow. They're a much more difficult team to guard.
7 points for Vanderplas, 3-point lead for Wisconsin Green Bay. Defensively, Wisconsin Green Bay quick to the ball, but they knocked it out of bounds. There's Dick Bennett. 15 years a head coach in his 6th year at Wisconsin Green Bay. Staying up.
You saw one of the athletic moves that I think frustrates Judd Heathcote sometimes, because Matt Steginger will shoot a shot like that, as difficult as he is, and he'll make it. And then he'll get a wide open jump shot, and he won't shoot it very well at all, and it frustrates Judd Heathcote.
Steginger, just an outstanding athlete, Mr. Basketball in the state of Michigan in 1988. 6'7" junior from Grand Rapids. 37-36, Wisconsin Green Bay. 16:50 to play in the game. This is Ludvigsen way up top. Vanderplas open on the baseline. Down and out. Poplawski has the rebound, and here comes Stevens. Nice pass to Steginger. And the foul.
Greg, I disagree with you. That was not a good pass. And Matt Steginger, being a great athlete, caught up with it and still was able to gather himself and get it in. Right here, first of all, you don't want Dwayne Stevens passing the ball, but he passes, and Matt Steginger has to go way out to get it and still has control, kept his eye on the basket, and finished it off.
That's 3 on Ben Johnson. I think we'll review that tape later tonight, and you'll have to explain to me just what was wrong with that pass.
The pass was out. The angle there that we looked at, Greg, was tough to see. But the pass was out in front of Matt Steginger, and at the last second, he had to jet forward to get it. A lot of people can't do it and then gather themselves to the basket. You don't need any kind of film to tell you that. Are you kidding me?
That's 9 for Steginger. And it's 39-37. Michigan State has outscored Wisconsin Green Bay 9-2 here in the second half. Vanderplas over the tie game. 9 for Vanderplas. Vanderplas is the only member of this team that Dick Bennett will lose this season. Poplawski really working on the freshman Jeremy Ludvigsen inside.
Got to put pressure on the basketball to keep Michigan State from getting it inside.
That's 8 for Poplawski, 41-39. Rondorf for Ludvigsen. The freshman misses, and Rondorf has the rebound.
Yeah, but they're playing good basketball. Good patience that time. Penetrate, defense comes, kick to the open man. You can play that all day. Beat a lot of people.
And the offensive foul on Tony Bennett. We'll take time out with 15:22 to play. Michigan State leading it by 2. We'll be back.
Okay, just like I showed you now, on the paper. On the paper. Yeah, no, come on back. Come on back.
Keds introduces training shoes.
On the paper. On the paper. No, I said on the paper.
Keds, they feel good.
Anybody want to go outside?
Keds introduces
Yeah, me neither.
loafers. Keds, they feel good.
One of these travelers knows that some payphones are connected to operator service companies you've never heard of. Some who can charge 2 to 3 times more than AT&T for long-distance calls. One of them knows a way to avoid being overcharged is to dial 10-ATT-0 and the number. Which one knows all this? The one who isn't being taken to the cleaners. 10-ATT-0 for fair prices and quality service. We're always there to help.
Oldsmobile, official car for NCAA championships, calls this time out to tell you about the other game in town. The Oldsmobile Drive to the Final Four Cellathon. At your Olds dealer, you can get a great deal on every new 1991 Oldsmobile. In addition to the terrific values, you'll also have a shot at winning hundreds of prizes like a new Cutlass Supreme or a large screen TV. Hey, with deals like this, you can't miss. Monday.
I'm tired of swishing around this kitchen with an apron on.
Can Wood Newton hit?
McHale Center on the campus of the University of Arizona in Tucson. First round West Region action, 15:22 to play here in the second half. And Michigan State leading Wisconsin-Green Bay 41-39. Wisconsin-Green Bay hot shooting with the 3 points in the first half have cooled off a little bit here in the second half, and Michigan State has pulled it a little bit together.
Well, they're taking advantage. You've got to figure that some kind of way, some kind of cooling off period for Wisconsin-Green Bay. But again, you got a player like Matt Stinnie that can burst out, make plays like that. You see a much more inspired Spartan team here in the second half.
4-point lead for the Spartans, and Stegina will go to the line, trying to make it 5. He does. Scott Lemoyne guilty of his first personal foul. 44-39. This will be a pretty good test for Wisconsin-Green Bay right here, Quinn, to see if they maintain their composure.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly that, Greg. At this point, what Wisconsin-Green Bay must do is stay in the flow of what they've been doing. They've been getting good shots, and they can continue to do that, even though I think Michigan State is playing harder, because Green Bay is they do good fundamental things, and there are only so many things you can do defensively. That's not the shot you want.
Bennett missed it. Smith on the break. That looks like an offensive foul on Steve Smith. That's number 1 on Smith.
Well, I tell you, guys, Vandenplas, that's a good play because that's a 3-on-1. So he stops a fast break going there. When you take long shots like you did there with Bennett, you're going to get long rebounds that lead to fast breaks.
We might add that if there's anyone on that Wisconsin-Green Bay team well-equipped to take a charge, it's Dean Vanderplas.
At least one charge. That's Stegina had a good start here in the second half. You'd like to come out, get good, solid start. Stegina had that. They come in with Zuloff, a little more athletic ability, not as much scoring power as Matt has.
Rondorf to Ben Johnson. Rondorf open for the 3.
Without being repetitive, that's the flow. Coming off picks after you move it 4 or 5 times. And the reason that you do that is you've got to give the defense a chance to adjust. And once they start moving themselves out of their original position, it's tougher to recover.
Rondorf has 13 off the bench. Michigan State's lead down to 2. Montgomery for Poplawski. Good look from Mark Montgomery. Poplawski has 10. 46-42 Spartans. 13:20 to play here in the second half. And Vanderplas set to check back in.
Mark Montgomery doing a very good job staying on Tony Bennett. He's not gotten the ball in scoring position the last 3 or 4 times, and he's breathing very hard.
And Montgomery guilty of the foul as Bennett took it to the baseline. That's 3 on Montgomery.
That's a player they can ill afford to lose, Greg. He's the guy that runs the club. He can score for them, but he gets the ball to Steve Smith and the rest of his teammates as effectively as anybody on the court, with the exception of Steve Smith.
13 minutes even to play here in the second half. Rondorf again.
That was a Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge always looks at you before you shoot the shot. That's exactly what Rondorf did to Matt Steginger. He looked at it.
16 for Dean Rondorf.
He only averages 6. He's having a big game here.
46-45, Michigan State. Poplawski wants the ball.
He should get it because there's no way Vanderplas can guard it. Good call. That's a 5-second call. And it got help from some of the fans, too. Steve Smith standing right in front of the official. Ben Johnson playing good defense.
12:25 to play here in the second half. This is first round action at the McHale Center here in Tucson. 46-45, Michigan State. Greg Gumbel along with Quinn Buckner and Leslie Visser. Vanderplas open.
That's what's been going on all afternoon for the Phoenix of Green Bay, shooting the jump shot. And all of a sudden, Michigan State came back, went inside with the basketball. Greg, they've gone away from it here in the last 2 minutes down the court.
Steve Smith open. Loose ball, out of bounds, and belongs to Wisconsin Green Bay. And Judd Heathcote is not in the best frame of mind he's been in all day. 11:52 to play in the game. It's Wisconsin Green Bay by 1.
Action from this Midwest site here at the University of Dayton Arena in Dayton, Ohio, and it's St. Peter's, a 12th seed, trailing by 5 to Texas, the 5 seed. And Texas slowly but surely getting the pace they want, Bill.
Well, St. Peter's in their half-court set can be disturbing, but when the situation has shown, Texas has pushed the ball. But here's where they have some problems, where they don't go inside and try and use the dribble.
Tion McCoy, Joey Wright, Panama Myers, Dexter Cambridge.
They run a triangle. They're in the foul line, 2 on the boxes. They try to pick for one another.
And Wynn Shepard, the 5 for Texas on the floor. Cambridge goes up, has the ball knocked out of bounds by Tony Walker. Texas ball. 14 seconds remaining on the shot clock.
Good hustle. They get in the passing lane. It's very disturbing. You've got to show the ball. You've got to back cut. You've got to screen for one another.
Excellent hustle by Antoine Allen. Boy, that jump stop by the player is really effective, getting close to the basket, and Cambridge with the follow.
As he shows that they feel he's gotten his composure, comfortable now, struggled earlier in the year, all of a sudden able to do it on his own.
Well, it's been the bench.
They play clinch in a tight game. They're accustomed to playing teams and beating them.
That foul is on number 31, Dwayne Stevens, and Vanderplas will go to the line.
Dwayne Stevens says he pushed off. Dwayne, if he pushed, it wasn't just a little bit either.
Matter of fact, you've got to think that'd be a pretty good shoving match between Dwayne Stevens and Dean Vanderplas.
Yeah, I'll take Vanderplas all day long on that one.
12 points for Vanderplas.
He looks big, he looks chunky, and you know what? It's deceptive. You don't think he's as quick as he is. And that's why Stevens stepped out, thought he had Vanderplas, and Vanderplas went around and just completed the 2 foul shots.
(49-46), Wisconsin Green Bay. Steve Smith into the lane. Stevens tries to foul, ball on the floor, out of bounds, to Wisconsin Green Bay.
That's a good sign if you're fighting Phoenix. That means you're coming up with the loose ball. Michigan State has got to get back into this thing. They're losing their composure. That was not a good shot by Steve Smith.
Wisconsin Green Bay has hit 4 of their last 5 shots. Bennett around and out. And Poplawski comes down with it. Here comes Montgomery.
Get it to him.
Montgomery for 3. Way off.
No way. He's not a shooter. No way.
Under 11 minutes to play now. Fighting Phoenix, their three-point shooting has cooled off a bit from the first half, but let's face it, they were red hot in the first half.
They were red hot, but Show has the offensive play. Michigan State.
That's an offensive foul on Tony Bennett, and that is number 4 of the game for Bennett. You talk about a player that a team can't afford to lose.
Well, Tony Bennett does a good job. Now, he's coming right at you. I'll let you make this call.
Coach Dick Bennett is questioning whether or not Poplawski had his feet down or not.
I got a problem with that one. That's how it goes. They now had to sit Tony Bennett down. Martinez has been the guy that's normally come through when Bennett is set down. We'll see if he'll come through here.
10:20 to play in the game.
Now it's time to get the ball into his hands, Steve Smith. He's been real quiet in the first 9 minutes of the second half.
Into the lane. Shot comes up short. Rondorf has it. Vanderplas, Martinez, Rondorf, Ben Johnson, and Logan Vandervelden on the floor for Wisconsin Green Bay.
Got Montgomery on Martinez, who Montgomery had been guarding Bennett. That's a good matchup. Martinez got to get the ball, make something happen.
Shot clock down to 12. Vanderplas. And that's a foul. Looks like it'll be on Mark Montgomery.
That's his 4th. That's a big foul. That's his 4th.
Martinez will inbound the ball for Wisconsin Green Bay.
Oh, they got a chance to get him his 5th, too, because Judd didn't get he was trying to get somebody in the game. Right now, you get the ball to Martinez and make him go at Montgomery. Try to get that 5th.
Here's Martinez with Montgomery on him. Has room to pick it up.
That's the kind of play you got to make. You got a guy in trouble. Don't let him up.
10 points for John Martinez. 5-point lead for Wisconsin Green Bay as we approach 9 minutes to play in the game. Montgomery for Stevens. Four for Dwayne Stevens, 51-48.
They've made a switch now, Greg. They all of a sudden put Matt Stiganga on Martinez.
This is Vanderplas. And Martinez looking right at Stangiga.
You can't do anything with there. You're now looking at 8 seconds. You got to take him.
Martinez. And Steve Smith with the rebound. Here comes Montgomery. Smith trying to get it inside the Poplawski. Stangiga. Baseline doesn't go. Martinez. Vanderplas.
Oh, he's out of the game.
He's out of the game.
They went right at him.
Montgomery drew his 5th. Dean Vanderplas looked like a runaway freight train.
Well, he had good position. Right here, Martinez makes the play by getting it up, and Vanderplas takes it. There's no chance for Montgomery to get there. You've got 4 fouls. You cannot get yourself in a position to foul out of the game. You're the guy that runs the show.
Montgomery fouls out with no points 5 assists on the day.
More importantly, what you lose is the leadership.
Wisconsin Green Bay is now 6 out of 6 from the line for the day.
The closer we get under 5 minutes with Michigan State not leading this game, the more the pressure all of a sudden switches to Michigan State.
Vanderplas hit them both. We have 7:50 to play in the game. It's 53-48, Wisconsin Green Bay.
And Oyango Merriman does, but he walks. Actually, he had his arm held. That cost the walk, unfortunately for Oyango. Nice job. But Myers, you can't miss these easy ones. I mean, that's what you'd call an errant toss. And see the arm held?
Tion McCoy, the ex-University of Maryland player at the point. Courtney James. And by Diet Pepsi, you got the right one, baby.
In history last night that upsets do take place in this NCAA tournament, and Wisconsin Green Bay trying to do just that. You see the foul trouble, and there's Mark Montgomery, starting point guard for Michigan State, fouled out of this game with no points and 5 assists. This is Andy Pennick.
Well, that's one of the things that happens out of this, Greg, is now Andy Pennick is a freshman playing, and he just hadn't been in this situation before. We'll see if he steps up.
Gets it inside to Poplawski.
And he did step up. He was able, and the reason he stepped up on that one, Greg, it's a reaction play. He does not have to think about what's going on, and that helps first play for a freshman in a tight game.
By the way, Michigan State's go-to man, Steve Smith, made his first 4 tries of the game. He has missed his last 6 attempts from the floor.
Well, Greg, he hadn't had to score that much, which is a good sign for Michigan State because they've been struggling to get scoring from somebody else. So that's not all bad that he hadn't scored.
Vanderplas wide open and missed it.
As you can guarantee, on the line, it's in Smith's hands.
Cross-court pass intercepted by Martinez. Saved by Rondorf. Nice job by Dean Rondorf in the corner. Tony Bennett, starting guard, on the bench in foul trouble for Wisconsin Green Bay.
A luxury they can deal with because they got a 3-point lead, Greg.
And Rondorf, who has been shooting the lights out. Shot clock to 15. Vanderplas for 3. Comes up short. Loose ball on the floor, and the possession arrow favors Wisconsin Green Bay.
At least Michigan State was down there to create the jump ball. That's what's important if you're a Spartan fan.
Quinn, at the beginning of the second half, I asked you if Wisconsin Green Bay could continue that shooting. They were 8 for 10 in the first half, 2 for 8 here in the second half.
Well, as I said, it was bound to balance itself. They're 46% shooting team, so the numbers are going to come down, but they'll still be right around 45, 46%. As long as they get the shots in the flow, the shots they get just standing there looking at the basket, that's not what you do in practice, so you're not going to make those quite as often.
Tony Bennett back on the floor for Wisconsin Green Bay. He has the ball.
Fresh legs, too. Stevens doing a good job. He's taller, giving Bennett a lot of room so Bennett can't go around.
Shot clock is at 17. And Bennett going to use almost all of it. Down to 10 now. Bennett blocked, partially blocked. Here comes Pennick, the lob for Stevens.
Well, that's a big play from the freshman to make that pass, but that's not one. If I'm Judd Heathcote, I don't want to see that pass, but the freshman makes it, and Stevens, after a good defensive play, gets the tip in right there.
Michigan State has cut it to 1 as we approach 5 minutes, and Dick Bennett wants timeout. 5:12 to play in the game. It's down to a 1-point game. We'll be back.
Dwayne Stevens, being so big, can back off of Tony Bennett and still be able to play him defensively. And then all of a sudden, right here, he is able to close the gap, get his hand up, and then he got down on the other end to complete the flash break. That's smart defense, knowing that you're a bigger player. You do not have to be as close.
You're under 5 minutes to play now for the game. 53-52. Wisconsin Green Bay with the lead and the ball. Shot clock is at 10. Bennett for Johnson out of the corner. Out of bounds and belongs to Wisconsin Green Bay.
Greg, here's where Wisconsin Green Bay has been making a mistake. The last 2 times, they're ending up with, like, Johnson shooting the ball. You got to get somebody else to beat their man off the dribble or kick instead of just taking a shot off the dribble, as Green Bay has been doing.
We said at the beginning of the day, Wisconsin Green Bay was going to win or lose this game by the quality of their three-point shooting, and it's kept them in so far. They have a new 45 on the clock, and it's now down to 35.
What you miss here is Martinez, because Martinez is the guy that can create shots for Bennett. Bennett is going to have a tough time beating Stevens by himself.
Vanderplas, top of the key, and Rondorf. Shot clock to 11. Ben Johnson got it. Three-pointer for Johnson, 56-52. First 3 of the day for Ben Johnson.
Wisconsin Green Bay has gone into a 1-3-1 zone with Tony Bennett on the baseline, keeping the ball, trying to keep it on the perimeter.
John Martinez back into the game, and Dean Rondorf will take a break.
You get ball handling here.
3 minutes, 40 seconds to play in the second half here in Tucson. Wisconsin Green Bay lighting it up from long range, leads it by 4 as Steve misses, and the ball is out of bounds to Michigan State.
Well, Greg, Wisconsin Green Bay has been knocking down their three-point shots. Michigan State has lost their guy that really controls them when they lost Mark Montgomery. The most important thing now is for Michigan State to stay patient, get the ball to Steve Smith.
Steve Smith from 3, and he nails it.
But that's the result more often than not.
Michigan State 3 out of 7 from three-point range, but Wisconsin Green Bay 11 for 19. A 3-point difference, a 1-point game rather. Wisconsin Green Bay by 1. This is John Martinez.
Moving it around, they want to get it to Bennett.
This is Tony Bennett playing with 4 personal fouls. Still plenty of time left. Shot clock is down to 12.
Martinez needs to take Smith off the dribble.
Vanderplas on the drive. Yes, Vanderplas.
Nice move by the big fella.
58-55 as we approach 2.5 to play for the game. 17 points for Vanderplas. A year ago, Michigan State had to go overtime to win its first-round game against Murray State.
You know, this is one of the toughest opponents anybody like Michigan State can play.
Steve Smith, it's his second straight three-pointer, and we're tied at 58. Timeout on the floor, 2:08 to play. Don't go away.
From Gillette comes Sensor, the only razor that can sense and adjust to the
tight game. You see right here, Vanderplas takes the ball to the basket. He avoided Popowski, who was waiting. You want to be able to get big plays from your big-time players. Vanderplas came through on that one.
We're approaching 2 minutes to play in the half. Greg Gumbel, Quinn Buckner, 58-58 game. You see the timeouts remaining and the possession arrow favoring Michigan State. Rondorf, top of the key. And Smith with the rebound.
You try to work the clock here if you're Michigan State. Get it to Steve Smith, and wisely, Green Bay has come out of that zone and gone to man-to-man, which you need to be in, but they don't have that #1 ball handler in.
This is Smith with Ben Johnson, Wisconsin Green Bay's best defender on it. And Michigan State cleared out for Steve Smith.
Right now, Ben Johnson should not let Steve Smith get the ball back. If he does, double him. Make Pennant beat you.
Shot clock down to 8. Smith for 3. And Smith After the rebound, loose ball. Wisconsin Green Bay. Matt Steginger making the dive in the corner.
Made a great effort. Made the kind of effort you like to have. You see the ball go up. Steve Smith had his hand on it and started there. Steginger goes down on the floor for it. Couldn't stop himself. Slid right out of bounds. The officials all on top of the call.
65 seconds to play. Tied 58-58.
And this is when it's fun. It's fun here.
Those of you just joining us here in Tucson, we're at 50 seconds to play for the game. Wisconsin, Green Bay, and Michigan State tied at 58. Wisconsin, Green Bay with the basketball in green.
Got the man with the ball you want him to have right here, Tony Bennett. You don't want him to beat the guy off the dribble. Martinez needs to get it to him coming off a pick.
33 seconds for the game, 12 seconds on the shot clock.
This is a tough one for him.
Bennett to the baseline. Tough shot, doesn't fall. Steve Smith has it. 20 seconds to play, no shot clock. And timeout, Michigan State. Tony Bennett got himself into a tight spot, and now Michigan State in position to win it. We'll be back.
He scored for St. Peter's, the only man in double figures for St. Peter's. Dexter Cambridge off the bench for Texas with 12 first-half points. Billy, the second half, as you take a look, what's going to have to happen for both squads?
Well, I think for St. Peter's, Tony Walker is going to have to assist. But right here, you can see Tommy Penders with Joey Wright. I think he's got to get out in the open floor. He's got to be patient. He has to let the ball come back out. He's trying to beat them individually on the dribble. But down with St. Peter's, Teddy needs Tony Walker to play
basketball that we're seeing. Each of the players now, all of a sudden, there's no passing at all.
I think had they been a little more team-oriented in the first half, they might have been up double figures at halftime. As it was, only a 6-point halftime lead. They've seen it dissipate to a tie.
You know, another glaring statistic at halftime was that Earl Duncan at the point guard position had no assists.
And Dabbs, who just scored a moment ago, didn't have any points. Not helping each other very well. Smith.
2 seconds remaining to be played. We're tied at 58. Wisconsin, Green Bay, and Michigan State, and the possession arrow favoring the Spartans. If you're looking for a go-to guy, there he is. Steve Smith, number 21, who leads the Spartans in scoring, coming in with 25.2 a game.
And he is definitely the guy you want to go to, Greg, and I'm sure Wisconsin Green Bay knows that. That's why I would double him. They don't have a foul that they could give.
Down to 3, Smith.
Yes!
Woo-hoo! From Wisconsin Green Bay and has moved Michigan State on here in Tucson. Here's Steve Smith with time running down, Quinn.
Well, you want your money man to have the basketball. Steve Smith he loves to go left. He comes left, and Johnson just can't get there in time. There's no doubt about it. Knocked it down. Watch him here. He'll go left. Now, he does just a little step back here. He knows it. Watch him turn and go away, knowing he's just put one down.
Steve Smith rallies the Spartans because most of the game, the pendulum favored Wisconsin Green Bay. You see bench members of Michigan State celebrating, and I think they're happy to get away from this Fighting Phoenix squad.
They are. They know that they just dodged a bullet. They had a tough game last year, overtime win against Murray State. They came away with this one. They cannot afford to come in overlooking personnel, as I think they did with the Fighting Phoenix.
Steve Smith, the game winner. He's with Leslie Visser. Leslie.
Greg, I'm here with our man who showed why he's an All-American. Did you know it was good right from the end?
I thought it so. I felt good when it left my hands.
What was the play designed to be?
To take the last shot, and if I missed it, try to win in overtime.
Congratulations to you. Also here with the winning coach, Judd Heathcote. Judd, you make these first rounds an adventure every year.
Hey, I'm not sure I like any round anymore, Leslie. We just feel so fortunate to win, and of course our superstar, Steve Smith, makes the last basket, and you know, what else could you expect?
Pretty impressive at the end. On to the second round. Back to you, Greg.
All right, Leslie, and a worthy opponent out of the mid-continent. Wisconsin Green Bay falls 60-58, the final score. Let's send you back to New York and Andrea Joyce.
Wow, what an exciting finish.
55-51. Madkins drops it home.
And it looks like James Barnes is down and hurt for Penn State. It looks like he hurt a knee. Jim, the key to this basketball game has been the ability of Penn State to play at a pace with which it's comfortable. Penn State has not allowed UCLA, for the most part, to run up and down. The Bruins come in averaging 93 points a game. They only have 53. We've only got 8 minutes and 7 seconds left in the game. Penn State's execution, particularly in the second half on the offense, has been superb. They've done a nice job blocking out on the defensive boards, and they've gotten a ton of offensive rebound. You can see the second half field goal shooting percentage. Penn State really doing a good job against UCLA.
Penn State, who got in the tournament by winning the Atlantic 10 tournament. UCLA, an at-large berth from the Pac-10 after a 23-8 record.
The winner of this ball game will go against Eastern Michigan, which won the first matchup here in Syracuse today. Then later on tonight, we've got North Carolina and Northeastern, Princeton, and Villanova.
So we've already seen one mild upset today. This would be a very big one, but we have a lot of time left on the clock. 7:45 to play, and UCLA trailing by 2.
UCLA in the 2-3 zone on the out-of-bounds play. Penn State has had some success against this defense in the second half. There's now 10 seconds left on the shot clock.
Inside, the ball is partially deflected on